Hey everybody, hey! I've been feeling kind of lost in the music I've been listening to lately. Like I'm stuck in a cycle of only listening to the same things over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, which makes it difficult to branch out and listen to new music, and there's also a constant influx of new music being released, so I decided to challenge myself. I would try and listen to 30 new albums in 30 days. Just want to say this video is completely inspired by Jason Paul Kim, who did this video first. Since I started collecting vinyl records, I've learned to appreciate the beauty of intentionally selecting what music to listen to in a certain moment. So I want to apply that same logic of intentionality and set aside a dedicated time every day for 30 days to listen to a new album. I understand this may not seem like a hard challenge by any means, but I want to try it anyways, okay? Because I love discovering new music, but I never feel like I have the time to do that. Anyways, let's talk about the 3 rules I've set for myself for this challenge. Number 1, I must listen to 1 new album every day for 30 days straight. The name of the challenge, so if I don't do that, then I'm not doing the challenge, you know. 2, I need to rate each album out of 10. And number 3, do a weekly recap of the albums I listened to that week. And stay tuned until the end. I'm gonna be giving you my top 5 favorites out of the 30 albums I listened to. So yeah, with that being said, let's get into it. Welcome to day 1 of this challenge. Energy drink of the day, classic Red Bull. Yeah. I'm gonna start by listening to Imaginal Disc by Magdalena Bay. This album came out last year and I have really just been procrastinating listening to it, and y'all have been requesting for me to listen to it also, so I'm gonna be listening to this today while I get ready. Hey. Guys, I just finished listening to the album and now I'm pissed at myself. I'm mad it took me so long to listen to it. That was crazy. Hey everybody. Oh, I almost choked. I'm eating an icebreaker. Welcome to day 2 of this challenge. Today I'm gonna be listening to The Great Impersonator by Halsey. And while I listen to it, I'm gonna be packing because my family's going on a road trip tomorrow. So I gotta get to packing, and why not listen to an album while I do it? Everybody, how are we already on day 5 of this video? I don't know, but today Sabrina Carpenter released her new album, so of course I had to listen to it. I had to give it a listen. I did film an entire reaction video though. I'm currently editing it, so I'm not gonna really include much about my thoughts on the album in this video. If you want to see all my thoughts and my initial reactions, go check out that video, but that's the album I listened to today. Week 1 of this challenge is officially complete. I have listened to my first 7 albums and I haven't missed a day. Hey, I just gotta hand it to myself. I've been doing pretty good, and for how busy I've been doing good, okay? So during these little weekly recaps, I'm gonna go through each album I listened to, my thoughts, and my ratings of each album out of 10. So I started out this challenge by listening to Imaginal Disc by Magdalena Bay, which came out last year, and like, what else do I have to say? I was just like stunned. Like, I really have loved their music for a long time, so I will have to say I did give this album a 10 out of 10. Like, starting off this challenge extremely strong. First 10 out of 10. Maybe our only 10 out of 10, who knows? Yeah, I gave this album a 10 out of 10, which is crazy, but I stand by it. It's been a week and I still agree with my rating. It's incredible, and it probably would have made it into my top albums of 2024 if I had listened to it last year. And I had a ton of y'all telling me that, but I just didn't listen, okay? I didn't listen, but I've listened now, and I get it, guys. Next up, the second album I listened to was The Great Impersonator by Halsey, also released in 2024. I had no idea what to expect going into this. I have been a casual Halsey fan for a few years. I saw her on the Badlands tour, which, like, hey, that's crazy. And I was excited to listen to this album just based off the concepts I was seeing, the album artwork, but I kind of felt like it was all over the place. I ended up giving this album a 7 out of 10. I will say the second half of the album clears the first half. Like, it's crazy. The second half did it for me way more than the first half. Alright, the third album I listened to is Kansas Anymore by Role Model, released this year. I did not listen to the deluxe version, I just listened to the standard album. I ended up giving this album also a 7 out of 10. I thought it was pretty solid. It was easy to listen to. I think I listened to this on the first part of the road trip. I was like looking out the window at all this like flat grass land, and I'm like, damn, this album makes me want to like sit on someone's like wraparound porch or something. Like, my main takeaway from this album is just, I feel seen also as someone who can't ever move on from anything ever. Moving on to the 4th album I listened to, which was Private Music by Deftones, released this year. Yeah, this one was one of the albums I was most excited to listen to. Oh my god, dude, I never wanted this album to end. I didn't. It just feels like such a fresh take on their classic sound. It was really great. I just 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Yeah, I really liked this album and I haven't stopped listening to it since it came out. All right, moving on to the 5th album I listened to, which was Man's Best Friend by Sabrina Carpenter, released this year. Yeah. I did a whole reaction video to this album if you want to go check that out and hear my initial thoughts, but I ended up giving this album an 8 out of 10 and I still stand by that. And while I didn't think it was bad the first time around, the more I listen, the more I appreciate it. All right, moving on. Next, I listened to Heavy Pulp by the Technicolors, released this year, another album that I was highly anticipating. I ended up giving this album a 9 out of 10. Like, I have no critiques of this album. I thought it was really great. I love their music. This one was really fun. All right, and then the last album I listened to this week was Essex Honey by Blood Orange, released this year. Dev Hynes is like kind of a musical genius in my mind. Everything he does, everything he touches, everything he produces, it's insane. This album did feel a bit underwhelming compared to his past albums, but I think the more I listen to it, the more I will like it and catch on things I didn't hear that first time around. All right, and those are the first 7 albums I listened to for this challenge. The first week is complete. I'll see you guys when I listen to my next album. Another day, another album. To be honest, I went out last night and I'm feeling unwell today. Unwell, but the grind doesn't stop. Oh, okay. I didn't expect that. Week 2 recap. Yes, let's get into it. We're 2 weeks into this challenge, meaning we are halfway done. So let's talk about the 7 albums I listened to during week 2. All right, starting off strong with No Hard Feelings by The Beaches. This is their 2025 release and I loved it. I loved it. Party girl vibes, cute, diva, messy, love. Gave it an 8 out of 10. I will say I did like their previous release better, but I liked this as a follow-up album. On the 9th day of this challenge, I listened to Sharon Van Etten and the Attachment Theory by Sharon Van Etten. The reason I decided to listen to this album is because I have it on vinyl already. I got sent it without having heard it, so I finally decided to give it a listen. And I don't know, it wasn't bad. I just don't think this style is for me. It just didn't really do anything for me. I will say I enjoyed the instrumentals of this album a lot, but then the vocals just let me down. I'm still torn on my rating, but I think as of right now, I'm giving it a 7. The 10th album I listened to, Who's the Clown by Audrey Hobart, also released this year. This is her debut album. I was really excited to listen to this album considering how much talk I've heard surrounding this album and how much I enjoyed the singles. I thought the singles for this album were really strong, especially as a debut, but I should have known better. She's friends with Gracie Abrams. She writes for Gracie Abrams. Like, I should have just known this would not be for me. I gave this a 5 out of 10. I did not really like it that much. It was fine. I will still continue to listen to the singles because I did really like the singles because they were so fun. They're fun and quirky, but the rest of the album just let me down. I did not really like it. It just... Moving on, I listened to I Barely Know Her by Somber. I gave this a 7 out of 10. I, again, had really high expectations for this album based off the singles. The singles for this album, again, were so strong and I loved them. 12 to 12 is insane. Like, it's so good. This fell flat for me. I don't know. I feel like Somber now was being pushed down my throat and I'm like, I actually don't give a like, I actually don't care. Next up, I listened to Shawn by Shawn Mendes. Same thing with the Sharon Van Etten album. I got sent this album by Shawn Mendes on vinyl without hearing it and finally got around to listening to it. I gave it a 5 out of 10. Yeah, I'll be frank. I don't like this style of music. This like acoustic singer-songwriter-esque style. Really not for me, but I can respect it. I will say he does have a great voice. Like, I have to admit, like, he really does have a great voice, but I was just bored. Next up, on the 13th day of this challenge, I listened to A Matter of Time by Leve, her 2025 release. I was getting a lot of requests from you guys to listen to this album and react to it, and I was thinking about reacting to it and making it a whole separate video, but I'm honestly really glad I didn't because I just really don't vibe with this style of music, this like jazz pop. I did give this album a 6 out of 10. I liked a lot of the instrumentals and the string was really beautiful, but I just did not really like it. I didn't like the sound of it very much. And then last up for week 2, on the 14th day, I listened to Something Beautiful by Miley Cyrus, released in 2025. Again, was gonna make this an entire separate reaction video and I'm really glad I didn't because my reactions would have let a lot of you down because I was let down. I had maybe too high of expectations for this album just because I love Miley and I was excited to hear what she had in store for this album, like what the vibe was gonna be. Her voice is always on point. I really do love her voice a lot and this kind of more like rock edge she's doing, love. However, this whole album felt a bit messy to me. I don't know. I feel like it could have been fine-tuned a bit more, so I gave it a 5 out of 10. Yeah, so not great albums this week, but it's okay. We still have 2 more weeks left of this challenge. I guess I'll see you when I listen to the next album. His voice is insane. The string? Hey! We've all been there, right? Oh, I don't know if I like that. Week 3 recap. Hey, this was a week for sure. Hey, this was a week that happened. That's for sure. Hey, we've done this before. Let's just jump into the 7 albums I listened to this week. Number 15, first album I listened to this week was May It Never Falter by Glaive, released in 2024. After posting my reaction to Glaive's last album, my comments have low-key been flooded with comments telling me to react to this album, and I just never got around to doing it, and I never ended up listening to the album either, so I decided this was a good chance to finally listen to it. The only thing I really enjoyed about this album was the amount of variation between the songs, but other than that, I just did not really like it. I was not vibing to it, so I ended up giving it a 5 out of 10. I'm sorry, that's just how I feel. His other projects were better. Next up, okay, so not only did we start off on a bad foot with that album, but I also missed a day. So actually the day that I missed was the day that I tried getting Ariana Grande pre-sale tickets. I actually spent the entire day doing other things to get my mind off the fact that I just lost the Ticketmaster war so badly. I was actually going through like every emotion possible that day. I was laughing. I was actually at the point of laughing. I was so like distraught and shocked. So not a good day mentally for me. So I was like, you know what? It's fine if I skip a day. It's fine. I'll just listen to 2 albums the next day. So that's what I did. Albums 16 and 17 I listened to on the same day. Number 16, I listened to Bite Me by Renee Rapp, another album I was getting a lot of requests to listen to and react to. And again, it let me down. Like I was so let down. I think Renee Rapp has an incredible voice speaking like technically. She is so skilled in singing. Like she has a voice made for like Broadway. Her solo music, I don't really enjoy very much. It annoys me. I gave it a 4 out of 10. I just did not really like it. All right, and then the second album I listened to that day, redeeming myself, I listened to The Clearing by Wolf Alice, released this year. Bro, I gave this album an 8 out of 10. It was so good. Everything about it I really thoroughly enjoyed. All right, moving on. Album number 18 I listened to was Oh, the Ocean by the Wombats, released this year. I was really intrigued by this album because I heard Blood on the Hospital Floor off this album. It was really great and I drove that song into the ground. Now I've listened to it too much and I need to like chill. So I was like, okay, let me check out the rest of the album and see what's up. Like see if I can find some other gems like that. And while I did find a few songs that I do enjoy, I didn't find any that lived up to that song in particular. So I ended up giving this album a 7 out of 10. Album number 19 I listened to is Wishbone by Conan Gray. I don't know, this album was interesting to me. I ended up giving it a 7 out of 10. Hear me out. I love Conan Gray's voice. I think he has an incredible voice. Like, oh my god. Hearing that high note in Vodka Cranberry, that's crazy. Like, how is a human able to do that? I will never understand people who are just technically good at singing. And while I did think this album was good, I just couldn't get it out of my head the fact that Found Heaven is better. Something about it, I was like, was this necessary? Did we need this so soon after Found Heaven, when Found Heaven, like, there's so much to live up to there? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that album, because I'm curious what y'all think. Album number 20, I listened to 2000 In Search of the Endless Sky by Fleshwater, released this year. When I saw that Fleshwater was opening for Deftones on their last tour, I was like, oh, I have to tap in. Not sure who this band is, but I have to tap in. I gave their 2022 album a listen, We're Not Here to Be Loved. It's insane. So when I saw that they had an album releasing this year, I could not have been more excited. Oh my god, it met all my expectations. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed this album. I really liked this album. I ended up giving this album an 8 out of 10. All right, and then last up for this week, album number 21 I listened to was Afterglow by Sleep Theory, also released this year. I heard Gravity by Sleep Theory a while ago and was like, mental note, I need to go listen to this album because this song is too good. This song is too good. I was enjoying it for like the first half of the album or like the first third of the album, but then by the end I was like, I can't differentiate like any of these songs. Like everything ended up feeling so repetitive that I ended up losing interest. That being said, I did give this album a 7 out of 10. I want to go back and listen to it again. There were some good songs in there, but nothing that was like blowing my socks off. So that's where I ended with week 3. Oh my god, I have 9 more albums to go. I've only missed 1 day. I feel like I'm doing pretty good. Week 24 recap. Let's go over the last 9 albums I listened to complete this challenge. Day 22. The 22nd album I listened to was Don't Tap the Glass by Tyler, the Creator. I am not the biggest Tyler, the Creator fan. I'm not a fan of his music. I just don't find myself listening to it very often. And I don't know why I chose to listen to this album instead of Chromacopia, because I haven't listened to that album, and I think I probably would have liked that one better. But anyways, I listened to Don't Tap the Glass. I gave this a 7 out of 10. I probably could have given it something lower, honestly. I didn't love the flow of this album, and I just really can't see myself listening to this very often. Moving on, the 23rd album I listened to was Play by Ed Sheeran, also released this year. I think I've said before in One Direction videos that I don't like Ed Sheeran, but I just don't like what he brings to One Direction's music. But him on his own, sure. Why not? What the hell? Sure. He has a good voice, he's a great writer, but I will say his normal style and vibe isn't really what I choose to listen to. But I actually ended up really liking this album. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I do kind of feel like I was transported back to the summer of 2016 listening to this, and that is a compliment. Next, number 24, we have Revenge Seekers by Jane Remover, released this year. Gave this an 8 out of 10. I have not listened to any of Jane Remover's music prior to this, so I had no idea what to expect going into it, but I was thoroughly impressed. If this had been released in 2021, I would have been like, this is a perfect album. But alas, I don't really listen to this genre of music as much as I did back then. But I loved how kind of experimental and genre bending this album was. It was very intriguing to me. Moving on, 25. I listened to Weightless by Jesse McCartney. And you know what? Was listening to an EP during this challenge kind of a cop-out? Yes. Do I care? No, I don't care. I was really busy the day I listened to this, so I settled for this EP, but I had been really wanting to listen to it anyways. I'm sorry, this man has a good voice, and I won't stop talking about it. I am still obsessed with Jesse McCartney. I think he just has a really great voice, and even though this EP was very millennial and kind of cringe, I still enjoyed listening to it. I haven't stopped listening to Trip. Trip is my favorite off this EP. I landed at a 6 out of 10 rating for this. Next, 26, I listened to Hickey by Royal Otis. This is their newest album released this year. 7 out of 10 is my rating. I did not like this album as much as their previous release. I would say the singles for this album are really strong and really great. Moving on. Woohoo! Next up, I listened to Mayhem by Lady Gaga, released this year. I can't believe it has taken me almost the entire year to finally listen to this album. I knew I was gonna like it. Like, it's Lady Gaga. Hitmaker of the century, like, low-key, she's incredible. Gave this a 9 out of 10. I was very close to giving it a 10 out of 10, but it just didn't hit that extra, I don't know. This also happens to be the 100th album I've listened to this year, so woo! Next up, number 28, I listened to Willoughby Tucker, I'll Always Love You by Ethel Cain. This is her 2025 release. I really enjoy Ethel Cain's music. Like, she puts something in her music that I can't help but love. But I was a little skeptical going into this, and I don't know, I think it was really good, except for all the interlude tracks. I just wasn't vibing with it at the time I listened to it, and haven't gone back to the album since. It was fine. I think, again, the singles, so strong. But the rest of the album, I just was kind of like, okay. Moving on, the penultimate album for this challenge, number 29, is Radical Optimism by Dua Lipa. This is her 2024 release. I'm not a Dua Lipa fan. I do like a lot of her music, but I hadn't really been hearing much talk around this album. Yeah, it's just kind of meh. I don't think it's anywhere near close to being the best thing she's ever released. It wasn't really doing it for me, so I gave it a 6 out of 10. And last up for this challenge, the 30th album I listened to was The Crux by Joe, released in 2025. Joe is one of those artists that I have loved since he's debuted, if you will. I always forget to listen to him, even though I love all of his music so much. So I was really excited to hear this album, and yeah, I ate it up. 8 out of 10. Overall, really great album. Really great way to end out this challenge too. So yeah, those are the last 9 albums I decided to listen to for this challenge. Crazy. I can't believe I did that. I have semi-successfully listened to 30 albums in just 30 days. We had some hits, we had some great albums, and we also had a lot of misses. Honestly, a lot more misses than I expected, but I did it, and that's all that matters. I listened to 30 albums in 30 days. My average rating from this challenge was a 7. It's very interesting. I think I rated a lot of albums generously, more generously than I should have, so that's why I think that rating is the average. Now on to my top 5 favorite albums. Yes! So, coming in number 5, we have Man's Best Friend by Sabrina Carpenter. This album has grown on me a ton. Not that I didn't like it my first listen, but it didn't stick with me the way that Short and Sweet initially stuck with me when I heard it the first time. This album, grower not a shower, you know, but I have really come around to this album for what it is. You know, it's never gonna be short and sweet. It's never gonna be a 10 out of 10. It's still really good. It's so catchy. My favorite song is still Sugar Talking. I guarantee that she's gonna show up in my top 5 songs on Spotify Wrapped this year. I have been playing it non-stop. All right, number 4, my 4th favorite album is going to Heavy Pulp by the Technicolors, also released this year with a 9 out of 10 rating. I really love the Technicolors and their music. They never fail to me. This isn't my favorite album from them by any means, but I still have been really enjoying it. I think it's really fun. I feel like this album is really great for that summer to fall transition. So I've been obsessed. And my favorite song as of right now is Aphantasia, which I'm pretty sure I have. There's nothing going on up here, but we already knew that. Number 3, we have Mayhem by Lady Gaga. Favorite song, Zombie Boy. I can't stop playing it. I don't care how overplayed this song is. It's a hit for a reason. It's popular for a reason. I can't stop listening to it. It's addicting. This whole album is addicting. Lady Gaga creating hits. Pork Fountain Kitchen. My second favorite album was Private Music by Deftones. This is their newest album. And yeah, I have not stopped listening to this album. I can't get enough of it. My favorite song is Changing Daily. My favorite song as of right now is Ectasis. I am desperate to get this album on vinyl now. I can't believe I haven't bought it already, but I love this album. You know, they really put their defusies into this. Can I say that? And finally, that leaves my favorite album that I listen to, and also my highest rated album. It's gonna go to Imaginal Disc by Magdalena Bay. Like, what more can I say about this album that hasn't already been said? This is a perfect album to me. My favorite song as of right now is Fear Sex. I recently got to see them live at ACL, and I mean, they were just as good live as they were on streaming. Like, they're true artists. Like, that's all I have to say about it. All their music is incredible to me, and this album is no different. Like, this album was so needed and necessary. Like, this album is what I was lacking in my life. You know what I mean? So yeah, those are my top 5 favorite albums that I listened to out of the 30 from this challenge. So after completing this challenge, honestly, I am feeling a bit burnt out of listening to new music, and all I want to do is go back to the comfort of listening to what I already know. But I think that's just my anxiety, honestly talking. I am someone who loves to rewatch TV shows, movies. I love the comfort of knowing already what's going to happen, and I think that's the same for the music I listen to. It brings a level of comfort to me and knowing what's going to happen already and knowing what to expect. So this challenge was also kind of testing my anxiety in a way, because even though it's not, it does feel like change to force myself to listen to new things for 30 days straight. It was kind of overwhelming, which sounds crazy, but that's just how it is. Overall, I think the most important thing about this challenge was the idea of setting aside time every single day to listen to new music, and I did that. So I did that. So going back to the idea of being more intentional about how I listen to music, I think this challenge was a good way to listen to more music, but by listening to so many albums back to back, I don't know if I was fully able to appreciate them. I have to be, I think, in the right headspace to listen to a new album and fully appreciate it for what it is, and I think forcing myself to do that every day kind of backfired in a way. But my main takeaway is that listening to new music every day is a bit exhausting for my brain. It's just like a lot of new information coming in at once, and I don't think I can have that many new things entering my mind at once. Guys, I think I need to be medicated. But I enjoyed this challenge as a way to branch out and listen to new music that I maybe wouldn't have and branch out of my normal listening habits. And I ended up finding some new albums, and I think that's all that matters. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of different video from me, I guess. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe down below for more videos from me. All right, I'm gonna go. I will see you guys later. Okay, bye.